it's surreal, but amazing. Words can't really describe. So many layers to it, right? The Save the Crew movement from the community and the fans really got this thing started months ago, and for my family, who obviously are longtime season ticket holders, on behalf of them and all of the fans who really got this thing right in front and center, not just in the local media, the domestic soccer media, but internationally. When I've traveled for scouting, people have said, hey, what's going on in Columbus? And so it's incredible to be back with a club that first club in Major League Soccer. It's the club that I grew up starting in high school, going to see the matches, and really started to dream about playing professionally, but also having a career in soccer. So to come back and help run the club with this new ownership crew and Jimmy and Dee and JW of the Haslams, and then obviously Dr. Pete Edwards, it's really a confluence of a number of factors that really create a sustainable club and allows us to have a long-term plan to have success and contend. And so for me, it's about contending. It's about collaborating. Obviously, there's already a history of collaboration in this market with the city, but also just internally with our club. Right, they've been through a lot over the last 18 months, and so we want to make sure that we can collaborate together to take this club forward. We want to serve the community. We want to serve in a way that honors what the fans have done through our training facility. That's going to be an outlet for youth soccer and youth sporting programs. And then we want to connect and make sure that we're giving back. And that starts with a lot of things, but including our academy. So there's so much to do. But I'm excited. I know Caleb is excited. Our ownership group is, and all the staff that I've met over the last few days are just really they're amped and ready to go.
You mentioned collaboration. Obviously, it'll be key between you and Caleb. What's that relationship been like? He mentioned that he's known you for a long time, but working together, how is that starting to develop?
Yeah, it was natural, right? Because I've known Caleb since I worked at the league office. Portland was one of my teams. And in terms of managing their salary cap with Gavin and that crew, and they were tremendously successful. And then actually even before that with Akron, when we're signing Generation Adidas players out of college, I ran that program, and so Caleb would be speaking to me about the players from Akron. So relationship goes back a long time, and throughout this process it was sort of happening concurrently. And when they asked me, I didn't even know that they were speaking to him. They asked me, who would you want? And in my mind, it was Caleb was number one. So it was happening at the same time, but I think we both knew it was a good fit. And so I couldn't be more excited for him to lead our team. I think he's the right guy for this, not just for this market, really any market. He's talented like that. He knows the game. He evolves, as he mentioned today. So it's been a natural fit where he and Pat Onstad, who's been on the staff for a number of years, and Zach Cruz, we've been down at the Combine and the draft working together, trying to figure out not just strategy for the draft, but for the roster for this year.
Success in Toronto, obviously on the field speaks for itself, but you're handling business side of things here as well. Mm-hmm. How does your career fit into handling both sides of those operations? Yeah,
first and foremost, obviously, working at the league office, you're in the vision with the commissioner and Gary Stevenson and President Mark Abbott. You're in a lot of things, including board meetings with owners across the league. And so you get a sense of where this league is going and where the individual teams are going on both the business and soccer operations side. And then that coupled with, obviously, my legal background, working in M&A for a number of years, just always something that I felt like was a natural step for me. There's a number of really skilled and talented people already at the crew, and then with the Browns organization and Jimmy and Dee Haslams and JW, and been speaking with them, and an individual named Dave Jenkins who runs the crew. And so we're going to be able to obviously leverage those resources up there in Cleveland and Berea and find efficiencies. And it's not unlike the way that a number of teams, but in Toronto with MLSE, right, we had TFC, but it's part of a mothership of MLSE with the Raptors, Leafs, and the Argonauts. So there's a number of things we can do. We're just getting started, but I'm looking forward to sitting down with the business folk and folks and really get cranking, because the team is in a good place. The roster, we like this roster a lot, and they can do some special things in this league. But on the business side, a number of changes have happened over the last 18 months, and so we got to wrap our hands around that over the next few weeks and start working on turning those pledges from our loyal fans and the new fans into obviously into people who are going to come to the stadium and enjoy the experience.
Well, you have the Columbus connections, and you're coming from Toronto, where you had Altidore, Bezbatchenko, and Bradley. Would you have come to Columbus if you weren't going to be able to be that competitive, to have those kind of resources, those kind of players?
Yeah, it's hard to say. What I do know is when I first sat down with the ownership group throughout this process, it became very clear that they were committed to the team, not just in with their emotional spend and to connect with the community, but also with their resources to put out a good product and to continue putting out a good product, but also to elevate it. And we talked about it today in the press conference. So, it's going to be obviously a different roster than what we had in Toronto, and now is an opportunity for us to build upon what's already in the locker room. But we have the resources over the short term, but also the long term. After we get the stadium done and this training facility completed, I think we can even take it to a whole new level. So there's a commitment from them, and I think that bodes well for soccer in Central Ohio and also for the league, for us to compete.
You've got Ohio ties. Your coach has Ohio ties. Ownership has Ohio ties. Your marquee player is from Central Ohio.
Yep.
Is that a storyline that we can overplay, or does that actually mean something?
You find a club like that in the whole world, then I'll tell you, I think it'll be hard to find a team in the whole world that has those ties. So I don't think it can be overplayed. I think it's what makes this unique and special, and one of the reasons why I wanted to come back. So it's really an incredible story, and we want to turn that from a story into trophies and make it an even better story.
Yeah, what did you have to sacrifice to the soccer gods to make that happen?
Yeah.
That lineup.
Sometimes you get lucky as the ball bounces your way, and it's instead of hitting the post, it hits the post and goes in. So it's been an incredible ride the last 3 or 4 weeks, but. I think I had a sense once the Haslams and the Edwards teamed up, I knew it would be possible to save the crew. And then once it kind of came out that they were looking for management, I thought, hey, I wonder if they will reach out, and they did. And from there, it happened pretty quickly.
You mentioned the season tickets, kind of pledges.
Yep.
The business side of things has been a factor, and Commissioner Don Garber mentioned that a minute ago. I don't know if you've had time to kind of sit down and look at the Columbus business community, but what do you make of, kind of taking this into the future in that aspect?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sitting down with all of our current partners, some of the partners that maybe have left this organization from the sponsorship side, and sit with all the businesses that want to be a part of this team that represents this city and this state. So we can do some really incredible things with the people around Columbus and the businesses. So, just starting with that process, but it's one of the first orders of business is to reach out to all of our partners and work with them, because just 6 months ago or even 3 months ago, I don't think people knew that the team was still going to be here. So incredible turnaround. We got to get boots on the ground, getting out to meet with our partners and our season ticket holders, and letting them know what our vision is, both on the soccer side but on the business side.
Do you lean on the business allies that committed to the Save the Crew, movement at all, or is this stuff you'll handle on your own?
Definitely not going to handle anything on my own,
okay.
Because this, again, there's just the way that this has happened. The first thing I want to do is just listen. I want to sit and listen to fans. I want to listen to our business partners, because they know a lot more. I haven't been here for, it's been 20 years since I lived in the city roughly, and things have changed. It's grown. It's really a place that people look forward to coming to. People are choosing to live here, and so that means a lot of different things for the businesses that we're working with. So it's going to be a collaboration, and I think that's something that we've emphasized in the press conference, and I would emphasize in my words and in our vision, is that we're going to be working at the grassroots level, but even on the business side with all the local community.
What kind of hires are you expecting for to kind of fill out the front office?
That's a good question. There's a lot of openings because of just the way things have happened. So I'll examine that, dissect that over the next couple of weeks. I think the first is actually to sit down and speak to the people who stayed.
Sure.
And the loyal employees. It's actually emotional because they've been through a lot, and want to sit with them and talk to them about their experiences and what they think our group needs to be successful. And then obviously we'll fill in the holes. Always like to promote from within if we can. People that have, again, shown that loyalty and encouraged. So we'll see.
Do you expect to have someone like a GM or like a player or a personnel-focused person under you?
Yeah, I do.
Is that you?
I do. I'll do a lot of the player transactions with Caleb, and then Pat has done a tremendous job, Pat Onstad, and so working with him to see if he's going to stay on the field or maybe come in permanently to the front office. So that's TBD, but certainly need someone to be doing that on a daily basis.
Sure.
As you come back to Columbus, what would be your early message to supporters that you really want them to hear?
Thank you. I think the supporters and to all the people who believe that this club could stay and represent this city and do something special. It's really just a big thank you, and come out to the stadium and if you haven't been to a game in a while, then try us again. I think you're going to find that the game has changed in MLS, really growing as a league. There's a really good product out there. For all the people who watch global soccer, I think that they would be foolish not to take a look, especially at this team and what they've done in the last few years. So thank you to the fans, and really look forward to seeing them at the stadium on Saturdays this spring, summer, and fall.
This may be insanely early to ask this question, but I notice everyone referring to them as Columbus Crew, not Columbus Crew SC. Is there a rebrand coming, a new logo? I mean, just how are
another one?
What are we supposed to call them, I guess?
No, call them what you want to. It's the community owns for right now, the community owns the team. So, I think it's still Columbus Crew SC, but we'll see. We'll see what's in store over the next months and weeks and months.